Hey everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. Going to be doing a little bit of flying here on the PilotEdge network with some IFR. I'm currently planning to do Van Nuys Airport down to Jack Northrop Field at Hawthorne, which is a pretty short flight in terms of as the crows flies, but a somewhat longer flight in SoCal because of the airspace set up in the routings. And then, if the weather holds, I'm going to hope to get
Victor Alpha runway
to
21 taxi via Papa,
which is
Bravo,
Kilo
use caution
Tango
helicopter
Sierra
operating use of
Papa.
the field on the ramp.
We'll see if the weather, when we get to Hawthorne, looks like it's going to cooperate. I have a couple FS economy jobs going up there that it'd be nice to get done, but if we can't, we can't. So I'll pull up the chart here so you can see the routing. So we come out of Van Nuys. The routing that we're going to go is a big U shape around the corner, as it were, instead of just going directly down. If we were going to fly this flight VFR, we might have a much better chance of being able to do that, but I like flying IFR. Plus, I had promised some of the viewers who were on the other night that we would do a IFR flight slant alpha pretty soon. And I think this is going to be the one. We're going to give this a shot. What slant alpha means that we're going to fly IFR with only the nav radios. We're not going to use the GPS at all. And this route is completely flyable without using a GPS. It's completely doable. Basically, we'll just track the radials to and from the various VORs. We'll go from Van Nuys out to this point here, Adam. From Adam, we'll turn right and track Pomona outbound down to around here. The route actually ends here instead of taking you all the way directly to the field. I believe the idea is that we'll pick up a vector directly to the airport somewhere in this area. In case you're curious, this red circle is the Disneyland TFR. So Disneyland is right under here, and it has a 24/7 TFR restricting flight from the surface to 3,000 feet. So since we'll be IFR, we shouldn't have to worry too much about that, but we'll probably keep an eye on it just in case we get sent down that way. So, just a couple more things to pre-flight here. I need to go and get the flight plan filed, since I don't have, that done yet. We're going to be IFR. Call sign is 1310 Alpha. Aircraft type BE-33. This is the Carenado F33 Bonanza. We're going to file a slant alpha. True's out at around, I think around 135 or 140. Let's see. Departing from Van Nuys, arriving at Hawthorne. Pull up the route here. Cruise altitude for this will be 5,000. Let's see, alternates. Where else should we go? Hawthorne doesn't have an ILS, so if the weather were to suddenly turn terrible, we'd want someplace that does. LAX is literally right next door, so that'll work. Put that in. Paste the route. Burn 1. Alright. Good evening, Laptop 903. Good to see you. Sorry for the delayed reaction there. I do have the chat open and love talking to people, so feel free to sound off if you have any questions or if there's anything I can answer for you. Love to do it. Alright, let's see. Should be ready to, just about ready to get our clearance here. Get my notebook ready. And we need to dial up Van Nuys to see, do they have delivery? Yeah. 26.6. Quiet on the network tonight. Hey, Uberbot, good to see you. 26.6. There you go. Not refused, good to see you. That nice delivery, it's Bonanza 1310 Alpha for IFR to Hawthorne.
1310 Alpha Van Nuys clearance, go ahead.
Just looking to pick up our clearance into Hawthorne.
1310 Alpha, clearance on request, standby.
Let's see, we can do some other pre-flighty kind of stuff while we're waiting here.
Current 714 Victor Alpha, and tower traffic, a helicopter operating east of the field, northeast on shoulder, runway 21, clear for takeoff.
Set our trim for takeoff. Lights are on. I'll grab the ATIS too while we're sitting here. ATIS is on 2755? No, it's on 1845. That's right, there's an X-plane bug for that.
Van Nuys information November.
Number 1310 Alpha, clear to Hawthorne Airport, Adam 1 departure, Adam, Victor 394, then as filed, maintain Kirshen. Climb via SID, accept maintain 4000, expect 5000, 5 minutes after departure frequency 134.2, squawk 2765.
Okay, cleared via Adam 1 departure, Adam transition, Victor 394, then as filed. We'll climb via the SID, accept maintain 4000, expect 5000, departure frequency 134.2 and squawk 2765 for Bonanza 1310 Alpha.
Bonanza 10 Alpha, read correct.
Alright, so we got a little bit of changing up to do here. Let's go have a look at this departure procedure we got handed. Make sure that's going to work.
Delta 175, San Francisco clearance clear to Los Angeles Airport, Port 6 departure, Avenal transition, then as filed. Climb via SID, accept maintain 5000, departure frequency 135.1, squawk 5724.
Departure frequency, departure procedures, Adam 1. I haven't flown this one before, this should be interesting. Let's have a look. DME required, which we have, radar required. Okay, so for Van Nuys, we're going to go...
Delta 175, back correct.
Be departing 160.
Number 4 Victor Alpha, con departure gate.
Cross Fillmore, at or below 1700, then climbing left turn to 110 degrees. Expect radar vectors to Van Nuys 095, radial to Adam. Okay, so this isn't too different than what we were planning. Basically, the difference between this and what we had is we had not filed any way, specific way to get to this point and get onto the airway. So this departure procedure gives us that instruction of exactly what to do. We know we're going to have a departure heading of 160. We can dial in Fillmore and be ready to track that and make sure we cross at or below 1700. After we cross that radial or the Van Nuys 2.2 DME, then we make a left turn to 110, and then we'll wait for vectors from there. All in all, not too complicated. Get our heading bug set onto 160 since we know that's the expectation, and I'll set the altitude bug as well for that 1700 feet. We'll get this set up for, oops, whoa, hello. Oh, come on. 1700. Sigh. That mode on. Flight director, heading mode. Alright, let's see. Got our transponder code set. We're also going to need to be able to track Fillmore on 122, or correction, 112.5 to know when to make that turn. And we need to grab the 102 radial. Oops, wrong bug. Two. Okay. Let's grab that ATIS again.
Van Nuys information November. 2200 Zulu weather. Sky conditions indefinite, scattered visibility more than 10.
I don't know what that means.
Temperature 15 Wind calm. Altimeter 2985.
2985.
Arriving and departing runway 16 right. Advise on initial contact.
Alright. Trying to think if there's anything else we need to do to get the airplane ready to go. I think we are just about set here. We are located up at the northwest corner of Van Nuys. I'll zoom out here so you can get a look. And that's 16 right over here, right next to us. up ground on 21.7.
Baron 308 Echo Foxtrot, Burbank clearance, go ahead.
That guy's calling for clearance, so we'll go ahead and get rolled out here while we're waiting for him.
There, 8 Echo Foxtrot, what's your final destination? .308 Echo Foxtrot, roger, departure frequency will be 134.2, squawk 1336.
Wait for that guy to read that back and then we'll get our taxi here.
8 Echo Foxtrot, read correct.
Van Nuys ground is Bonanza 1310 Alpha with the weather just short of Alpha 1 for departure.
November 1310 Alpha, Van Nuys ground, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha Charlie.
Alpha Charlie to 16 right, 1310 Alpha. I mentioned this last time I flew out of Van Nuys, but it bears repeating for anyone.
Over 175 San Francisco ground, see a location on the field and verify how the weather.
There's a great documentary about the Van Nuys airport called 16 Right. Was on Netflix at one time, I'm not sure if it still is, but
Delta 175
on my
runway 1 taxi via Mike.
Alright, brakes on. Tower is on 19.3. And then I'm going to get our...
There are 3-1 Echo Romeo Camarillo Tower, make sure to runway 26 code land.
Our departure clear. Departure frequency was 134.2, so I'll get that ready. So that we can just do a quick swap when the time comes.
Near 1310 Alpha, Van Nuys Tower, you say you ready to go?
We're ready to go, 1310 Alpha.
308 Echo Foxtrot, Burbank ground, runway 8, taxi via Charlie. Near 1310 Alpha, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 16 right, 1310 Alpha. Alright, let's do this. Flaps are at approach. Ooh. The AP on there. That's not good. Alright. Oh, we got it figured out. Thankfully the plane trimmed out of the autopilot mode pretty quickly. Wheels up. Now we're going to be watching for movement on this radio. Right here. Once we get that, we know we can climb to 4,000 and start that left turn.
308 Echo Foxtrot, Burbank Tower, runway 8, cleared for takeoff. Then your northbound VFR departure is approved.
Flaps are in. Yep. Oh, flaps are not in. There we go. Flaps up, gear up. Perfect. They pulled it off Netflix. Let's do it. Oh, it's on Amazon.
Taxi parking via shot. Good day.
Awesome. Yeah, check that movie out. It's on Amazon. Uberbot says.
No 10 Alpha contact departure. Good day.
Over to departure so long. 10 Alpha. It's absolutely worth watching. SoCal departure, good evening, Bonanza 1310 Alpha on the Adam 1 departure.
As a 5973 uniform SoCal approach, hey. Good evening, forward to altimeter 2985.
Cross that radio.
Plan visual approach runway 24.
So that means two things. While we wait to hear back from SoCal here and throttle off a little bit.
Bonanza 1310 Alpha SoCal departure. Radar contact, climb and maintain 5,000.
Up to 5,000 for 1310 Alpha. So that cancels our earlier That cancels our current restriction and our earlier restriction of 5,000 or 4,000. So now we can go all the way up to 5.
November 119 Lima Whiskey, SoCal approach. Good evening, Palomar, altimeter 29 7, main VFR, clear through the Lindbergh class Bravo airspace, maintain VFR at 7,500.
Alright, now navigation-wise, we're waiting for directions to join the Van Nuys 095 radial, so let's get that set up here. Van Nuys is on 13.1. Oops, wrong knob. And 095. So we should get a
SoCal approach,
left
3
turn
radical
here.
Foxtrot with you, 2,300, climbing 6,500.
So used to checking
Ground
on
308 Echo Foxtrot, SoCal departure, radar contact, Burbank altimeter is 2984.
checking
Correction,
on the map
2985, resume
of the
navigation,
GPS to show
maintain
you
VFR.
guys where our local
Okay, altimeter
interesting
2985
things
is
are.
Foxtrot, thank you.
I'm not going to do that this flight since I'm trying to do this all without GPS, so
Bonanza 10 Alpha reaching 3,000, turn left to a heading of 060 to join the departure.
okay, left to 060 at 3,000 for 10 Alpha. We got a little bit more to go here. We're climbing kind of slow, all things considered, so I jacked up our climb rate to 800. We can do 900. Okay, there we go. Do. Staring at my gauges.
Delta 155, NorCal departure, radar contact, climb and maintain, flight level 190.
Almost. So that heading should take us to intercept this radial, but he still hasn't cleared us to join it or given us any other instructions other than that heading, so that's what we're going to stick with right now. Hey, Whitney K, good to see you. How's your evening going, bud? Alright. We're waiting.
Sir 7 Tango, descend and maintain 3,800 and turn right heading 260.
While we're waiting for that additional instruction, let's check out our route here. We're going to join this radial outbound. We're going to fly along it until our DME says 36.
Sir 7 Tango, does we have Lindbergh in sight?
This little number right here in this circle, that'll mean we're at this point. At that point, we'll need to track Pomona VOR outbound.
Sir 7 Tango,
Clear
clear visual runway 27.
110.4 on the standby, just so we're ready. Alright, we'll be ready with that. In the meantime, heading 060, climbing up to
Bonanza 5, Lima Ski, entering the class Bravo airspace, maintain VFR above
waiting for
5,500.
our further instructions to join this radio. Hey, Flight Cytec, good to see you.
Princess 56 South, contact
Just departed out of Van Nuys and
135.4.
on our way down to Hawthorne, flying
35-4, Twin Cessna 1256 Alpha.
IFR Slant Alpha on PilotEdge.
Bonanza 7 for uniform, turn right.
My voice is
Heading
lower.
310,
Alright, I'll turn that
speed
down.
vectors, visual
Thanks
approach
for
runway
feedback
24.
on that.
Looks like
I'll
you
turn them
missed
down just
KO.
a little bit. Sometimes they're loud, sometimes they're quiet, so it's always a balance. Because I can hear them perfectly, but I know you guys don't have my audio set up there. So thanks for letting me know. Just about to level off here at 5,000. We'll pick up some acceleration.
Number 7 3 uniform, no. KO arrival ends at the Seal Beach VOR, so you should continue on the arrival until you receive vectors.
We'll wait here. If by chance we happen to fly through this radial and I haven't received any more instructions.
Number 7 27 Tango Tango, contact
I'll ask
Lindbergh
about
Tower
that, for sure.
118.3. Number 56 Alpha, go ahead, request.
Alright, there's the level off. Pull the prop back to about 2,500 there.
56 Alpha, I will forward your request. Should not be a problem. Vectors for the Alex, alright.
And we'll go ahead and lean out here.
SoCal approach, Baron 308 o'clock shot.
Baronet Echo Foxtrot.
So we'd actually like to divert to Gano. I'd like to make a left turn to, I think, like 246, if that's okay with you guys.
Baronet Echo Foxtrot.
So Needle's coming alive here. If he wasn't dealing with somebody else, I would already have probably asked.
Bonanza 597, form is to maintain 4,000.
SoCal 10 Alpha, did you want us to join Victor 186?
10 Alpha, join the departure.
Alright, thanks. You did say that actually, now that I think about that. My bad. Alright, we can pull back our throttle just a scotch here. I like this Bonanza 160 over the ground at pretty reasonably conservative.
Baronet Echo Foxtrot, the weather for Carenado.
Reasonably conservative power settings and about 10 miles per hour.
I'm playing on a, it's not on simulated weather, sir.
Okay, so you're using your own weather, not real world?
Alright, so now that we're on this,
Roger.
now that we're on the airway here, we got to start paying attention to the DME. We're looking for 36 DME to get to Adam.
Bonanza 73 informant, right heading
So right down
34,
here,
speed vectors for the descent,
this
maintain
little number is
3,000.
going to continually count up because we're flying away from Van Nuys. You can see the
To Cessna
two
1256
froms
Alpha,
pointing
Texo,
back at it.
California 127.2.
And once that says 36, we'll be ready to make that right turn. So we got about 20 miles or so to go on this course and this altitude. Yeah, Martis Pilot, this is the Carenado
Cessna 52, 1256
Bonanza
Alpha, so California.
F33, the F33 Bonanza.
Roger, understand, looking for the ILS,
not the
runway
VTAL,
20 right, and
but
Boeing
it
altimeter
is-
2986.
It's real nice. I really like it. The panel is really well laid out.
Cessna 56 Alpha, turn right,
like
heading
many of
140,
Carenado's
speed vectors
aircraft,
for
I
the
find
ILS,
it very
runway 20 right approach,
comfortable
descending,
to
maintaining
fly. I've never looked
4,000.
in the wrong place for information or anything like that. It's very, very logical. The flight model's very stable and predictable. I have a couple hours in
Bonanza
a
7 uniform, turn right, heading 030.
in a real Bonanza, and this feels, I mean, it feels spot on. Martis Pilot suggests dialing in Pomona as a backstop. That's a good idea, actually. Let's go ahead and do
Bonanza
that.
10 Alpha, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
35.4 for 10 Alpha. I'll do that right after we make this. Right after we make this radio change here. SoCal Bonanza 1310 Alpha at 5,000.
Or 1310 also SoCal approach, Roger, Ontario altimeter 2986.
286. Alright, 10. So the backup nav is over here.
To Cessna 56 Alpha, send and maintain 3,000.
110 point. Oh, is it over here? Is that how this works? Yeah, there we go. Oops. 4. So let's see. Our second nav looks like it's over here. The radial outbound that we're going to be tracking from Pomona is the
Bonanza
187.
73 uniform, turn left, heading 310.
So we'll get that. We can give this a glance occasionally, and we're going to continue to see left deflection on this needle until we fly to where we need to be. Then it'll be centered, and if we miss it, it'll be off to the right. So if we glance over here,
Bonanza
and it's
1
off to
Lima
the
Whiskey,
right,
text SoCal approach
we know
124.35.
we've done a bad thing.
Delta
Also
175, contact
flip
Oakland
this
Center
over to
133.7, connect.
Nav 2 and track the DME from Pomona as well. It's certainly possible to fly slant alpha without a DME readout. This little gauge here, I find it much more very comfortable tracking radials and DMEs. I'm much less comfortable looking for the intersections and
Bonanza 115, Lima Whiskey,
tracking
SoCal
the
approach,
crossing radials.
Rudder.
It requires a lot more vigilance, and you have to pay a lot more
Winds are
attention.
calm,
Whereas
visibility
this, you
10
can just
miles,
glance
ceiling
at the
broken
number
6,500 over past
make
that
sure it's not too close.
10,000. Brown landing on runway 26 right.
How's the audio mix just by now? Is it? Am I still too quiet, or is it better now? Somebody let me know in the chat, please.
Delta 175, Oakland Center, good evening, climb and maintain flight level 270. Bonanza 5973, turn left heading 210.
Hey, Pipe Productions 14, good to see you.
To Cessna
Thanks for
56
joining.
Alpha, traffic's 1 o'clock, 2 miles southbound via fire cutting 2,500, type in.
Okay, sounds good, he says. Perfect, thanks. Got about another 15 miles to go here until we make that right turn.
Process 56 Alpha 4 miles from
Since I believe
Snake,
we're going to be
turn right,
vectored
heading
to join
170,
the
maintain
Hawthorne
3000,
localizer, even though the airport is
runway 20 right
currently
approach.
in good weather, we'll probably be vectored to join this, so I'm going to have this chart pulled up. Got the localizer, 1091, the approach course, pretty straightforward, just straight in. The one thing about Hawthorne is it's extraordinarily close to LAX, and the runways are laid out the same. Now, of course, it looks completely different because it's a single runway airport instead of a four-runway
contact plane
behemoth,
approach 124.7.
It is shockingly close to LA.
Ground 308 Echo Foxtrot, plane to approach. Roger, Camarillo, altimeter 2986, Camarillo landing 26.
23.
As a 73 inform, report the airport in sight.
Watch that for that to get up to 36.
Then 73 uniform, thank you, clear visual approach, runway 24, contact Fullerton Tower 119.1, good night.
Fortunately, Tehachapi Airport, which is where I was planning
Cessna
to go
125 Alpha,
after
contact
Hawthorne,
runway tower
is
126.18, good night.
IFR. The field's
Carenado Echo Foxtrot.
a 1 3/4 visibility, so, and that field doesn't have any instrument approaches, so we're not going to be able to get in there.
Number 8 Echo Foxtrot, yep, that's all I gave for you was the altimeter and their landing runway 26.
But depending on how the flight into Hawthorne goes, I have another idea as well that we might do. We might go down to Brown Field down by San Diego. But one thing at a time.
Bonanza 10 Alpha, right, heading 150, this will be vectors for the localizer, runway 25 approach for Hawthorne, descend and maintain 3000.
Okay, right to 150 and down to 3000 vectors for the localizer 25 approach for 10 Alpha. Oops. All the buttons.
November 4 Victor Alpha Kingman, altimeter
Okay, 150.
is
Now down to
2987. Ready to go Foxtrot, let me know when you have the airport, please.
Let me just pull the power way
Baron
back.
Baron Echo Foxtrot, radar services are terminated, squawk and maintain VFR, frequency changes approved.
Alright, so now that we're on vectors for the approach, we can discard our kind of earlier plan and get this approach dialed in here. So the localizer frequency is 1091. I'm changing the comms.
MN5 Lima Whiskey VFR
not
descent
very smart.
to at or above
There we go.
3,500 is approved.
1091. Are we receiving the localizer yet? We are not. Alright. We'll get ready. Two, 5, 3 is the approach course. 1091. Alright. These approaches always make me nervous because we're completely dependent on the X-plane database having the localizer set up correctly in it. If it's not there, it's never going to show up and we'll need to make a new plan. But the good news is the airport has clear skies, so even if we needed to make a visual approach, we could.
As a 10 Alpha, contact SoCal approach 124.9er.
24.9 for 10 Alpha. Frequency for you, and a frequency for you. Do-do-do-do-do. Scroll, scroll, scroll.
Bonanza 5 Lima Whiskey advisement Brown in sight.
SoCal approach Bonanza 1310 Alpha out of 4 for 3.
Bonanza 1310 Alpha, SoCal approach Roger, Hawthorne altimeter is 2986. Set to maintain 2,700.
2986 and down to, I'm sorry, say the altitude again for 10 Alpha.
Bonanza 10 Alpha, set to maintain 2,700.
2,700, thanks, 10 Alpha. Laptop 903 asks, have I ever done
And
share...
10 Alpha is 6 miles from Wells, turn right, Heading 220 and maintain 2,700. Hill established localizer cleared. Localizer runway 25 approach.
Okay, 220 on the heading, and we are clear for the approach at 2,700, 10 Alpha. We're not doing any approaches if we don't get a localizer to come up, so that's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. Laptop 903 asks, have I ever done shared cockpit with anyone? I have not. I haven't picked up the Smart Copilot plugin yet. I'm interested in it, though. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It would be, I'm so not used to flying with anyone else that I wonder a little bit about how it would go with coordination, but I think it would be, pretty fun. We also need the LAX VOR dialed up for this approach on 13.6. Switch our DME over to that because we're supposed to track the descent points off of that VOR. Wells is at LAX 18 DME, that's 2700. After Wells we can descend to 1500 to Hashi, and then from there down to 620. So we'll set 620 as our decision height. Still not seeing any movement on that localizer needle, but we're not quite there yet, so turn up the prop. We're leveling off at 2700 here. Alright, needle's coming alive now, which is good. I'm going to trigger nav mode on the autopilot so that it'll intercept it. And now we're just watching the LAX DME down here for the descent. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see this. Once we get to 18, we can descend from 2700 to 1500. Once we get to 11.8, we can descend from 1500 to 620. If we don't see the field at 620, we need to go to a missed approach.
Cover 31 Echo Romeo, when we get departure radar contact.
Not going to happen this time, because it's a nice day.
And camera altimeters 986, resume on navigation and maintain VFR, Dave.
We also should get Hawthorne Towers radio frequency dialed in here, so we're ready for that. 21.1. Just about to cross 18. I'll get the descent programmed here. Yeah, unfortunately the Smart Copilot is a payware. I believe it has a trial that you can do some limited amount of functionality with it and make sure you like it and it works for you and all
Number
that.
5, Williams Key Raj, thanks, and contact Brown Tower, 128.25, have a good night.
Okay, 18. Let's dive the boat here, down to 15. See if we see the airport out there yet. Not quite. Not quite. Well, maybe. I wonder if that's it right there. We'll get a little bit closer.
Cessna 1310, I'll contact Hawthorne Tower 121.1. Good night.
Over to 21.1 for Hawthorne Tower, 1310 Alpha. Thanks a lot. Hawthorne Tower, good evening. It's Bonanza 1310 Alpha on the localizer runway 25 approach.
1310 Alpha, Hawthorne Tower, 25, good.
Carenado 25, 1310 Alpha.
November 115 Lima Whiskey Brown Tower, enter right down under my 26 right or my 26 right, could land. Alright, Echo Foxtrot, taxi to get Charlie, Foxtrot, good day.
I was hoping to be able to go out to Catalina today on this flight, but Catalina has horrendous weather right now. Overcast at 100 feet and freezing rain, or at least rain. I'm not sure if it's freezing actually, but so that's not going to happen. But if you have any other votes on destinations after Hawthorne, I'm all years. I'll probably do Brown Municipal down in the San Diego area, if unless anybody has a favorite they'd like to see on the stream. As long as the field is either VFR or has instrument approaches, I'm happy to give it a shot. Alright, so we're just about to level off 1500. And then after this we'll begin the descent down to 620 once we get to 11.8. I see something that looks suspiciously like an airport right there. Now, see, laptop, I just explained why we can't go to Catalina. I could fly out to Catalina, circle around in the clouds, and then come back. That doesn't sound very interesting. Witting case says KNZY. I think that's a military field, isn't it? Not sure they'd be too happy to see my little Bonanza there. Yeah, that's North Island Naval Air Station.
Yes, if you deviate, that is fine with me.
Greatest idea I've ever heard.
Because of scenery issues, whatever, it's fine with me.
Looks like we have some traffic in front of us here. Keep an eye on that.
Thanks for checking. XL 235, Los Angeles, clearance go to Bakersfield Airport. McCarran 3 departure, hard to transition, then southbound. Climb via SID, departure frequency 125.02, squawk 4606. XL 235, read back into.
Alright, so that's Hawthorne there. Continue on the approach for now, though. Yeah, unfortunately the helicopter drones at Catalina aren't smart enough to know that it's a not a very good day for flying, but what can I say, they're helicopters, they don't really know what they're doing. That was a test to see if heli-pilot's watching and just hasn't said anything. Because he knows I like to give him crap about flying helicopters.
Air 31 Echo Romeo, Barber Tower, make straight in, runway 25, Cuddly.
Since Helipilot hasn't started screaming in the chat, I can think it's safe to assume he's not watching us tonight. Realize this is actually set for the wrong altitude. There we go. Alright. We have our clearance to land. I'm going to go ahead and slow everything up and get the airplane configured for landing here. Flaps out for approach.
Minimums.
There's our minimums. We do have the airport in sight, no problem. Leveling off at that last point. We'll let the autopilot get the airplane back into level trim here. Give it a little more power. And gear down. 3 green. Autopilot off. Not sure what the best approach speed is on this. I haven't looked at the manuals to notice enough. I usually have a tendency to do fast approaches and then pull it out right on the threshold. So we'll keep
Number 365
We'll
Echo
keep it
Alpha
right around
northbound via flight departure approved. Runway
90
25
knots
for
here.
takeoff.
pull up a little bit. I think we're a little low. There's the Marker. One more notch of flaps for landing. Flaps are all the way down. Perfect. Still feels low.
Six Echo Alpha squawk the 2-tuner transponder on contact departure. Good day.
Alright. Full power and speed up our descent a little bit here. Drifting a little left. There we go. Is that a blast fence there at the end of the runway? Sure looks like it. Yep, yeah, that's exactly what that is. That's cool. Alright, bring it in. A little heavier than
Flight Romeo
I like,
approved.
but
Taxi parking via.
it worked out. Alright, flaps in. Yeah, light, like a very
Flight Romeo
shallow glide
approved.
path. I
Taxi
agree.
parking via
That was pretty shallow.
Probably
That's kind of what the approach
and
set me up
terminal
for,
13.
though. It had me down very low. I think it's to get you way under the arrivals to LAX. I'm sure that's why it's has you down so low so quickly. That's got to be what the deal is. All right, park here. Ground's on 25-1. Hawthorne, Grand Bonanza 1310 Alpha, just clear 025, like to taxi straight ahead for parking.
XL 235 Las Vegas ground number 1 with Bravo taxi via Bravo. November 0 Cursion or 10 Alpha taxi parking via South taxi. Good day.
Okay, to parking 10 Alpha. Alright, well, let's get parked here, and then we'll talk about what comes next. But for those of you that were curious about seeing a complete flight slant alpha, you just saw it. We didn't open our GPS for anything other than changing frequencies. We never used the map.
We're 125 South. I need aircraft type and
anything like that. Lots of fun. I like flying this way. It's a little more to it than just following the old
Or
GPS
56 Alpha,
magenta
if you're
line.
leaving the terminal airspace, you need to contact clearance for exiting the Charlie airspace.
This airport scenery is an add-on. It's made by a PilotEdge member. I believe his name is Jeff. It's on the X-Plane org. It's a great scenery. It's fantastic. All right. Oh, look at that. It's Cat Strader. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Turn the electricals off and pull power. Get our FS Economy flight logged there. Let's see what we want to do next here. Take a quick look on FSE and see if there's any jobs that have popped up since I looked last. Just the ones to Brown. Alright, so since the tad choppy weather is terrible, I think we're going to go to Brown Municipal next. I got 3 FSE passengers that want to go there. So I'll be back. I'm going to step out for just a second, and then I'll come back and we'll get the flight planning done for Hawthorne to Brown. Back with you in just a sec. Alright, hey everyone, I'm back. Alright, let's get this flight planning set up. Got FS Economy start up. I'm going to go start our flight so that I don't forget to do it, because otherwise I always forget, and that sucks. Check the weather real quick. We don't need Van Nuys anymore. Brown is SDM. Go see how things are looking. Yes, thank you, Winton K. I did not forget to wash my hands. Aviation.other.gov is not playing ball. Come on, let's go. Well, while that's happening, I'll get the routes pulled up here. Hawthorne to Brownfield. We are a non-jet. Alright. Another tech route special here. Got our weather finally. Alright, Brownfield, calm winds, 10, visibility 10 miles, overcast at 6,500, 2989er. So, shouldn't be a problem there at all. If need be, we know we can land at Lindbergh. So let's get this planned here. Over on SkyVector, clear our route. Starting from Hawthorne, the first waypoint is called Limbo. Looks like that's off the coast just a little bit. From Limbo, Victor 64 to Victor 363. Okay, so we'll follow Victor 64 to... Where's Victor 363? There it is, right there. So we'll go Limbo to Seal Beach. I don't like the way it zooms you all the way out every time. That's annoying. To Walkrow. Hey, Zach Swallow, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that, my friend. Walkrow to El Toro. Victor 363. What's the next thing after that? Victor 363 to Dana. Okay, that's right there. From Dana, we'll go Victor 23 to Mission Bay. Alright, so Victor 23 will take us to Oceanside. From Oceanside, we will go direct to Mission Bay. From Mission Bay to Brownfield, which is
1256 Alpha, John Wayne, by
almost
20
directly
taxi via Alpha,
on the U.S.-Mexico
Hotel,
border.
Charlie.
So, here's how it looks in the aggregate. A nice, nice complicated route with plenty of
56 Alpha, runway 20
twists
left
and
at
turns.
intersection Kilo.
I think we'll go ahead and fly this one slant alpha again, just for the challenge of it, and because I
November
like
56 Alpha, give me that.
This one should have a fair
please.
amount of turns and twists. Looks like a total flight plan of about 130 nautical miles.
Thank you.
This thing
There are
cruises
31
at
Echo
more
Romeo,
like
set up public clearance, go ahead.
155, so it'll be about close to an hour. Not too bad. Alright, let's say we file this thing and
31 Echo Romeo, fly right
Get
heading,
away.
maintain VFR to below 1,500. Departure frequency 125.4, squawk 4701.
come on, my flight route. You can do it. You can do it, buddy. Just close some of my other junk here.
November 1 Echo Romeo, read that correct.
Well, if it's not going to load it, I'll just go file it myself.
XL 225, contact departure, good day.
Turn the radios off for just a sec. Alright, IFR, Alpha.
November 31 Echo Romeo, set up a ground number by 25, taxi via Alpha Golf.
I thought I turned you off. What did I do wrong? Alright, flight plan is filed. We're already connected to the network. FS Economy is started. I think we're ready to get some clearance and get on our way here. Hawthorne does not have clearance delivery, just has ground on 125.1. 25.1.
31 Echo Romeo, set up tower, I'm 25, clear for takeoff.
Hawthorne ground, good evening. Bonanza 1 Tree 10 Alpha, looking for our IFR clearance to Brown Municipal. Waiting. Waiting.
XL 45, Las
if you
Vegas
can't
Tower,
hear
runway
us.
1 right at intersection Bravo, clear for takeoff.
Try turning the battery on. I bet that makes a difference. Hawthorne Grand Bonanza 1 Tree 10 Alpha for clearance to Brown Municipal.
Number 1310 Alpha, Hawthorne ground, clearance on request, standby.
Yeah, that must have made a difference.
November 1 Echo Romeo, ready to contact, say altitude.
Interesting.
Go Romeo, roger, remain frequency, I'll have a handoff to Santa Barbara shortly.
Let's get ready. Get the airplane ready here.
November 1 Echo Romeo, contact departure, good day.
Do.
Number 1310 Alpha, clear to Brown Municipal Airport. Fly heading 210, radar vectors limbo, Venice, maintain 3000, expect 5000, time such departure. Departure frequency 134.9, squawk 5070.
Okay, 10 Alpha, heading 210, radar vectors limbo, climb to 3000, departure frequency 134.9, and 5070 in the box for 10 Alpha.
10 Alpha, back correct. XL 45, contact Las Vegas, departure, good day.
Get that squawk in here. Heading 210 on departure. And then looks like our route didn't get modified at all. So let's see, we need to be able to we're going to be expecting a radar a vector to this point, limbo, which we will navigate to via tracking the Seal Beach 1157-251 radial. So let's get that ready. 15.7, 251 radial. We're almost exactly on that.
Fireliner 73, uniform, Fullerton Tower, with 24, clear for takeoff.
Climb out of 3,000. Heck. Reset the radar altimeter here. Alright, I think we're ready to start this sucker up. He said, wondering why the engine wasn't starting. Does the battery need to be on to start it?
And tower, with 20 left, a kilo, clear for takeoff.
Yep, interesting. I always thought you're supposed to keep the battery off to start. Very interesting. Alternators on. Pull the throttle out. Alright, where'd we park? Right across from the tower. Next to runway 25. Alright, let's go ahead and go get her. Hawthorne Ground Bonanza 10 off is at the south ramp for departure.
Air 56 Alpha, radar contact, say altitude. Air 56 Alpha, radar contact, say altitude.
Wait for him to deal with that guy and then we'll make our request.
Air 1310 Alpha, Hawthorne Ground, runway 25, taxi to south taxiway.
South taxiway to 2510 Alpha.
November
I guess
56
this place
Alpha,
doesn't
retail
have
altitude, I'm sorry I missed that.
lettered taxiways? That's kind of weird. Interesting. I did not know that.
November 1256 Alpha, John Wayne Tower.
Kind of like Santa Monica.
There,
Doesn't really
1256
have
Alpha,
taxiways.
say altitude. One two five six Alpha, Roger.
Oh, sorry. Still looking at
Air
Skywalker.
56
Thanks.
Alpha, verify turning to heading 080.
Thanks, United 59. Forgot I left you guys on that. My bad.
Air 56 Alpha, you're on heading 18170 right now. Air 1256 Alpha, contact, full call departure.
Yeah, the controller is having a bit of a rough go. I can hear him trying to deal with those pilots. Alright, while we're rolling along here, get tower set up on 121.1. Approach flaps for departure. Make sure the autopilot is not on this time. Get our trim, reset to neutral. Oops. Pay attention to where we're going, maybe.
Air 73 uniform, contact departure today.
I like this blast fence that's modeled down here at the end of the runway. That's pretty cool. The blast from our mighty Bonanza, I don't think will make a huge difference, unfortunately. Transponder is set to on. Flaps are at approach. Trim is reasonable. Got our climb programmed. 3,800. Alright. Switch over to tower and get our departure frequency programmed here real quick. 34.9. And I think we are ready to do this. On departure, we're going to climb to 3,000. Left turn heading 210, which I've got programmed in here. And then we'll be looking for vectors to join the 251 radial of Seal Beach inbound on 15.7. Perfect. Hawthorne Tower, Bonanza 1310 Alpha, short at 25, ready to go.
Air 1310 Alpha, Hawthorne Tower, mid 25, clear for takeoff.
25, clear for takeoff, 1310 Alpha. Yeah, our controllers have to, they're kind of the first line of defense with new pilots who don't understand how the system works, or we get a lot of people who are brand new to sims and have never used one before and don't really understand how they work or what they're doing or what a call sign is or anything like that, so they do a hell of a job, no doubt about it. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps in.
Number 10 Alpha, set transponder squawk 5070, contact SoCal departure, good day.
5070 and over to departure 10 Alpha. Must have gotten flipped somehow. Not sure how that happened. SoCal departure, good evening. Bonanza 1310 Alpha is through 504 3000.
1310 Alpha, SoCal departure, radar contact.
Okay, continue on our merry way for now. Just want heading mode and get the climb programmed in. And let's go ahead and go back to about 2500 on the RPM. Go back to about 25 on the manifold. And lean out a little bit. There we go. Alright, so in the near future,
That's a 73, no contact,
this
SoCal,
needle's
it's now
going to come
134.9.
flying across here. Switch our DME back to nav1, and we'll be ready to track it inbound. To
Bonanza
CB2.
10 Alpha, climb and maintain 5,000.
5,000, 10 Alpha.
SoCal approach, Bonanza 59er 73 uniform, level 4000.
There's a 5973 uniform, SoCal approach. Good evening, LA, altimeter is 2986.
986, 73 uniform.
Yeah, these
Delta 56 Alpha, contact SoCal approach 1.
these Carenado planes all seem to have the mouse wheel scroll, and it's very, very quick to get used to it, that's for sure.
Number 1256 Alpha, contact SoCal approach on 135.4. Bonanza 1310 Alpha, turn left heading 090 when able, clear direct to the Seal Beach VOR, and join Victor 64.
Okay, 090 direct to Seal Beach, and we'll join at Victor 64 after that. Thanks, 10 Alpha. So we got a little bit of a shortcut there. Instead of having to fly out and intercept that
Cessna 1256 Alpha, SoCal approach, roger. Ontario altimeter is 2986.
Just get to go straight to Seal Beach.
Wind 31 Echo Romeo, contact SoCal approach 134.2.
Check our plan here. After Seal Beach, we'll depart on the 080 radial.
Delta 31 Echo Romeo.
Fly 14 nautical miles to
296.
Grow, at which point we'll proceed directly to El Toro on 17.2.
Bonanza 10 Al, contact SoCal approach 127.2. See ya.
27.2, thanks, 10 Alpha. Get that frequency change made. SoCal Bonanza 1310 Alpha through 3600 for 5,000.
Bonanza 1310 Alpha, SoCal approach. Good evening, Joe, and altimeter 2987.
87, thanks. And I just said we need to get El Toro in the backup. 117.2. There we go.
Delta 175, contact SoCal approach 124.5.
Pisa says it's very annoying with Track AR, easy to miss-scroll on the mouse wheel. Yeah, I could see that. I don't use Track IR. I've had one in the past and I wasn't a real fan of it. I haven't really tried it again since I've gotten back into simming. I'm actually not sure where my set is. It was a Track IR 3 as well, not the latest, so one of these days I might see if I can get a hold of one and try it again. In the meantime, I've gotten very used to being able to use the mouse, or the quick views to get around the plane very quickly. I've kind of got a, and every plane I've got a set up, and then I use the look left and look right a lot for when I need to look around. So
Delta 175.
Certainly possible to get by without it.
Los Angeles altimeter is 2986, wind 03084, visibility 10 miles, few clouds 8,000, scattered 1000, scattered 5000. Plan ILS, runway 25 left approach.
Alright. 15 miles to Seal Beach. I'm going to level here at 5,000 in just a sec.
56 Alpha, traffic is 11 o'clock, 1 mile southbound of IFR, indicating 2,700 type angle. XL225, contact LA Center, 125.27. XL235, LA Center, roger.
Alright, just about to level at 5,000 here.
Dublin 1 Echo Romeo, Van Nuys is 12 o'clock at 10 miles. 1 Echo Romeo, roger, radar services are terminated, contact Van Nuys Tower 119.3, good night. As a 5973 uniform, contact SoCal approach on 134.2.
There we go. Just leave it right there.
So 485 cross down at, maintain 13,000. John Wayne altimeter is 297. I'll belong
picking up through
for you shortly.
55, 56, it's about 12 gallons an hour. We should have plenty of gas without any worries in either tank. Let's cruise.
That's a 5973 uniform SoCal approach. Good evening. The Burbank altimeter is 2986.
Let's see, we're going to cross 170 on the ground speed here. Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Bonanza 5973 uniform. Closest weather I have for you be Camarillo. Camarillo's reporting winds calm, visibility is at 8 miles. However, ceiling's overcast now at the IMC at Camarillo. Temperatures 15, 2.12, altimeter is 2986. Do you have an alternate planned? Number 73 uniform, Roger, keep me updated, and we'll plan for Oxnard if things don't work out.
Sounds like some bad weather up on the Central Coast area.
Delta 175 across Santa Monica at maintains 7,000.
It's pretty impressive, almost 175 knots over the ground at 5,000 feet with only 12 gallons an hour. Not bad.
XL 235 pilot's discretion is set to maintain 14,000. Got the Bakersfield altimeter 29991.
Alright, just about 5 miles here, so I'm going to do a little trick that I often will do for these overflights. I have no idea if this is how you'd be trained to do this in the real world or not, but it works for me. I switch back to just heading mode, and then program the new radial, which in this case is 080, into the VOR there, the HSI, and then looks like, as you can see, we're not quite on that radial because we're not quite there yet. But if I slap it back into heading mode for just a second, as soon as we cross the VOR, I'll slap it back into nav mode and it'll fly that radio outbound. Castrator asks if this is the 35 or 36. This is actually the 33, the F33 Bonanza.
Bonanza 73 uniforms, quick direct Santa Paula Airport.
Which I actually really should get my act together and make a proper repaint for this that has the correct tail number on it. Maybe one of these days I'll get around to that. Just about to cross here. So I've got some diminishing weather up ahead of us. Let's go check in on the latest weather at Brown. I don't know why this site is being so slow today. Very frustrating.
XO 45, Roger, thanks.
Castrator says, better swap your fuel tank soon. The funny thing about this is that this plane appears to have a little bug in it, where if you start a flight... Oh, okay, never mind. The other day I had it flying... the fuel selector was in this position.
1256 Alpha, altitude.
I don't think is a real position on the fuel selector. So, yes, as Castrator says, we will switch to the right fuel tank now, since it's just got a little bit more gas in it.
So the 175
right,
contact SoCal approach,
yes,
on
sure
128.5.
Alright, let's make that turn now. Better late than never. 080. Yeah, I bought this model from Carenado a long time ago, and I when I upgraded to X-Plane 10 and started simming again about a month ago, I reinstalled it, and I was very pleasantly surprised with what they've done with it in X-Plane 10. It flies very nicely. Very nicely indeed. Alright, so we are now tracking this radial outbound to the 14 DME point, which will be Wokro. At Wokro, we'll proceed direct to El Toro.
Delta 175, SoCal approach, Los Angeles altimeter 2986. Say again, altitude you're descending to?
Got 117.2 in the backup for nav1, so we're ready to make that.
Delta 175.
Switch over.
Thank you. Depart Santa Monica, heading is the vectors for the ILS runway 25 right approach. Correction, the ILS runway 25 left approach.
There we go. Make sure our pitot heat's on, since we're starting to fly.
XL45, Texas,
weather
SoCal approach
here.
135.4. Affirmative.
Boink. Explain weather changes.
Departure. Piper 20 Mike is 1,800, climbing 2,400.
XL485, SoCal approach, roger after Donna, descend and maintain 11,000. Piper 20 Mike, SoCal departure, radar contact, and Jolly altimeter is 2987, resume on navigation and maintain VFR.
Resume on nav and maintain VFR. 20 Mike.
Weather finally loaded, Brown's still reporting.
Bonanza 7-3 uniform traffic.
Overcast at 6,500.
Is 10,
so
11 o'clock, 3.5 miles northbound, VFR indicating 3,900. Additional traffic is 1 to 2 o'clock, 3.5 miles southbound, 3,800. Both types unknown.
This is clicking up to through 7. We needed to get to 14.
Bonanza 7-3 uniform, we've got additional traffic. Looks like they're all going to try to sandwich you now 12 o'clock, opposite direction, 5 miles, indicating 3,600.
This yellow indicator here, I'm pretty sure the way this gauge works is a combination ADF and some sort of weird point directly at the VOR gauge. I don't really know what the name of that would be, but the yellow arrow here appears to be nav2, and at the point that we want to make this turn, it looks like the heading will be right around 2.25, so this will probably come around, or no, 2.5 is not right. What is it? Can't see the 3.25. Yeah, that makes more sense. So this will come around to 3.25 minus 180, 145. Yeah, the green arrow is ADF1 or NAV1. The yellow one is ADF2 or NAV2. It is a handy little gauge to be able to see exactly where a VOR is, just like an NDB back in the olden days. It's not on most airplanes. I haven't seen it on most of them, but for that matter, I haven't seen two ADFs on most airplanes either. So, all right, we're flying fast enough. We gotta make some of these turns fairly quickly here. Got another 3 miles here, and then we'll make that turn direct to El Toro.
Has a 7-3 uniform attack plane, Magoo approach 124.7.
Line up the heading bug here and go on heading mode real quick. Pisa says it's called an RMI, radiomagnetic indicator. Yeah, I thought that was the name. This plane doesn't have one of the compass-looking things that were just a simple card without any overlay of any needles or anything like that. I thought those were RMIs, but I must be wrong. Pieces knows what he's talking about. He's a smart guy. I trust him.
Bonanza 597-3 uniform, plane Magoo approach, roger. KVNY altimeter is 2986. The airport's 12 o'clock and about 10 miles. Report when you have it in sight. 4,000 is going to be as low as I'm going to be able to get you here.
Pisa says, what I was thinking of is called the directional gyro. Of course, that makes sense. Alright, we're at 14 miles, so it's time to turn direct El Toro.
Piper 20, Mike, you're in violation of the Los Angeles Class Bravo airspace. Any intentions?
And let's take that turn.
You salmon, I was climbing to 5.5.
Okay, did you hear the words cleared to enter the Class Bravo airspace?
Uh-oh.
No, sir.
Okay, until you hear those words, you may not enter the Class Bravo airspace. You need to descend or turn out of the Bravo airspace immediately, please.
Descend out to down to 3.5, back to 3,500.
So we missed that turn just a little bit. Our intercept course should be more like 145 instead of 153. Yeah, unfortunately there's about 3 or 4 airspace violations per day on any given day. And we try to be understanding and polite but direct, so the pilots realize there was a mistake was made, and normally it's an accident and people just make a mistake. If someone doesn't know what they're doing and is just cruising all over the place, then that's a bit of a different matter. But sounds like in this case he just a misunderstanding, or maybe thought he was already cleared when he wasn't.
Number 20, Mike, clear of the Los Angeles Bravo airspace, resume navigation, maintain VFR at all times.
Did you say I'm cleared into the Bravo, or I'm out of it?
Number 20, Mike, you are out now. You are clear of the Class Bravo airspace.
Okay, roger, I'm clear of the Class Bravo 20, Mike.
Good times. So once this clicks over to
XL230, contact Bakersfield.
Start climbing up again, we'll have crossed over El Toro and then depart on a 158 radial, which is very close to the radial we're already on, so I'll just knock that over a couple notches and the plane should pick it up fairly quickly. Zoop, 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 whee! Alright.
XL235 Bakersfield approach. Roger, thanks for information. Kilo, plan Islands, runway 30 right approach from Amont. I'll get you a vector to Amont here.
Next move will be Dana. 12 miles to that. And from there we're going to track straight to Oceanside.
XL232, maintain 90,000.
Oceanside 15-3, both in the backup and in nav 2, so they were ready for it. Backup.
XL235, fly heading 300, enable clear direct Amont for the ILS runway 30 right approach.
All right.
Descend to maintain 90,000.
The intercept radial for Oceanside is going to be 301. Get that set up over here. There we go. So by the time we get to where we should be, this needle should be right in the middle.
XL235
right.
vector for Amont. I'll get you a clearance here shortly.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight.
Charlie,
this is,
departure radar contact, climb and maintain 5,000.
I like flying airplanes slant alpha. It's a little harder to follow along and know exactly where we are because we don't have the handy map, and we're not using the flight plan mode that tells us exactly how far we have to the destination and all that good stuff. But it's kind of fun. It's a throwback way of flying. There's a couple airliners out for X-plane right now, like the 737.
Uniform, Santa Paula is untowered.
200,
visual approach to the airport.
737-200 is slant alpha. Does not have a GPS in the plane at all.
Or down on more than 5 minutes
how
after landing. Change advisor frequency is approved.
Fly a route in slant alpha is a very helpful skill. Although in a 737, it's a little more complicated. Things happen just a scotch faster than in a Bonanza.
The 31 Echo Romeo, SoCal departure, Roger, Van Nuys, altimeter is 2986, resume navigation, maintain VFR. XL235, descend and maintain 6,500 after Mont, clear to ILS runway 30 right approach. So 45, contact SoCal approach on 127.2.
So we're watching this to get to 12.
SoCal approach, Chicago 485, 9,000 and 8,000.
Number 2 Delta Charlie, turn right at Gina, resume navigation.
Other nav receiver as well.
XL 485, SoCal approach, good evening, Long Beach, altimeter is 2986. Depart Donna, heading 240, speed vectors for the visual approach, runway 30.
Was that depart Donna heading 240 or depart KO heading 240 for XL 485?
XL 485, thank you. Got my head all mixed up. XL 485, depart KO heading 230. This is the vectors for the visual approach, runway 30.
Okay, depart KO heading 230, vectors for the visual approach, runway 30. XL 485. The 31 Echo Romeo traffic is 12 o'clock, approximately 3.5 miles north-northwest bound via aircraft indicating 5,500 type on. Roger. Number 56 Alpha, contact SoCal approach 134.2.
Just about another mile to go here.
November 1256
Sierra
Alpha,
Needles
contact
coming right over the
SoCal
middle,
approach
just like we
13.2.
expected. So, we'll flip it on to heading mode so that we can get the next intercept.
Delta 175, send and maintain 5,000.
Miles. We're now direct to Oceanside. Oops. Here we go. As you can see, that needle's right in the middle.
XL 480, descend and maintain 5,000.
Descend and maintain 5,000 XL 485.
Alright, we got 20 miles to Oceanside. We're almost done. After Oceanside, there's one more navigational waypoint over here. So we just passed Dana here. We're tracking down the coast straight to Oceanside. From Oceanside, we'll proceed direct to Mission Bay. From Mission Bay, down towards the field down here.
Number 1256 Alpha SoCal approach, good evening, Burbank, altimeter 2986.
Oops, that's not what I wanted. Check out the field real quick. Yeah, so it's right down here next to the U.S.-Mexico border. Right near the edge of the edge of the map.
1131 Echo Romeo Reddix, cleared through the Los Angeles Class Bravo airspace via the Hollywood Group, maintain VFR 9,500, LA, altimeter 2986.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure. I think I have a San Diego
XL
scenery
485,
pack
just to
that I
maintain
believe
4,000.
does include some
So maintain
scenery from
4,000,
Brownfield, but I have no idea how good it is. I've actually never flown there in X-Plane 10, so this will be interesting to see how it looks.
XL 235 to contact Bakersfield Tower 118.
I'll get Mission Bay dialed up into standby here on 17.8. We are cruising for another
1
15
Echo Romeo
miles,
Tech.
or about 5 minutes.
SoCal approach on 134.9er. Delta 175, descend and maintain 3,600.
This plane is a nice little moneymaker on FS Economy. Unfortunately, the only ones that are cheap are located in Australia. And that doesn't help me too much. You can pack a plane up for shipping on FS Economy and it turns it into a cargo
Delta
jet.
175, 7 miles
So
from
I'm trying to
Honda,
find someone who wants to fly a long-haul
maintain
aircraft
3,600
for
till
me
establishment
on
clear to ILS runway 25 left approach.
a big airplane on FSE all the way from Australia up into California. If you want to do that, you should talk to me, because I will happily pay you some FS economy bucks to ship me a Bonanza from Australia.
1256 Alpha IFR, correction, radar services are terminated. Squawk and maintain VFR frequency change approved.
I don't think the plane cargo load weighs that much either, so you could probably do it in a light biz jet, but it's still about, oh, I don't know, at least 12 hours of flying.
XL485,
so.
turn right heading 270, descend and maintain 3000.
I do not have the schedule conducive
270 down
for that much
3000
flying. I wish I did. I should probably get a fresh altimeter. It's been a while since we've gotten one. Let's see. Looks like nearest airport is Oceanside Municipal. Let's see if it has a ATIS frequency. $27.8. Let's give that a shot. 27.
Bonanza 573 uniform, thank you. IFR cancellation received 0502 Zulu. Good night.
Oceanside meeting information Oscar.
Number 1310 Alpha, contact SoCal approach 119.6.
19.6 for 10 Alpha.
Number 20 Mike, contact SoCal approach 119.6.
119.6 for 20 Mike.
SoCal Bonanza 1310 Alpha 5000. He's going to give me an altimeter.
1310 Alpha, SoCal approach, gave me Camry altimeter is, correction, Palomar altimeter 2987.
2987. I was wondering there for a minute.
XL485 airport.
We went all that trouble to
12
look up
miles,
that
Fort Wayne,
ATIS
Oversight.
frequency. He just gave us one. Oh well.
So 45, clear visual approach runway 30.
Alright, let's see where we're at here. Got about another 7 miles to Oceanside. From there we'll go to Mission Bay, and then we're looking
SoCal approach, Piper 20
After that,
Mike
we'll be looking
is
for
level
vectors.
4002 Montgomery.
Piper 20 Mike, SoCal approach, Palomar altimeter 2987. What's your intended cruise altitude?
Oh, I would like 5,500.
Remember 20 Mike, Roger. I'm showing you at 4,000. It's typically going to be an IFR altitude, especially opposite direction. Not typically a good idea to cruise there. If you want to climb to VFR altitude, that'd be great.
Okay, so am I clear to go to 5.5?
Your VFR, you don't need a clearance to climb to an altitude. You need a clearance to enter Class Bravo airspace. Other than that, you're VFR.
Okay, so
It's not on PilotEdge. We learned about VFR.
3,500.
Good times.
XL485, contact Long Beach Tower 119.4. Good night.
Alright, 3 miles. So we'll do our usual trick here. Get on to heading mode. We're going to go direct to Mission Bay 17.8. Is already up in our standby. Just needed to click over.
Delta 175, contact Los Angeles Tower 120.95. Good night. Douglas 2 Delta Charlie, contact SoCal approach 134.2. See ya.
Alright, make the flip. And straight there. Alright, that should be our last navigational point
Douglas 592 Delta SoCal approach, KD
for
Burbank
the
altimeter
night.
2986.
After this, we're going to probably get a vector to the field. For a visual approach, I would expect.
Delta 31 Echo, contact
Since
SoCal
we are
approach
below the
127.2.
overcast ceiling right now. Let's suppose we can get the ATIS for Brown dialed up on COM2 so we can pick it up. 32, 35.
L3 1 Echo Romeo, SoCal Approach, Roger.
Brown
Showing
and
altimeter
Company
297.
information Oscar. 000 Zulu weather.
0
Sky
Zulu.
conditions
Okay.
29 Echo Romeo, Joey,
broken,
altimeter
10,000
2987.
overcast visibility.
Okay, so still
Temperature
Number
Got that
0,
65
correction,
clear.
number 10
There,
Alpha
ceiling.
Air traffic
altimeter
is 11 o'clock, 2 miles,
209.
opposite direction of your
209.
aircraft indicating
Now,
runway
4,500 technical.
08 left. Advise on initial
yeah, we're definitely losing some visibility here, no doubt about that. About 25 miles, about 10 minutes, we'll be crossing Mission Bay.
Nevin 1 Echo Romeo, leaving the Los Angeles Bravo airspace, resume navigation, maintain VFR.
I don't think we're going to get a different approach sector, so I'm going to get the tower in the standby. 28.
Devlin 1 Echo Romeo on a right downwind,
5.
runway 20 right, contact John Wayne Tower 126.8.
Oops. Reflexively pull up.
Bonanza
GPS.
1310 Alpha, do you have the weather for Brown?
Oh, we do 10 Alpha. Visual should be fine. I believe we're under the ceiling, so it should be okay.
And number 10 Alpha, they are landing visuals without any problems over there. Depart the Mission Bay VOR heading 120, so be vectors for the visual approach, runway 26 right.
Okay, depart Mission Bay 120 for visual 26 right, 10 Alpha. Alright, so we get that heading bug set so we don't forget. 120, and about 17 miles will make that turn. Here's the airport diagram. It's a nice 8,000 foot runway. That should be enough. And all the hangars are over here on the southwest side. So we'll probably land long and plan to pull off on Bravo and wait to cross 8 right and then over the red.
Piper 20 Mike, traffic is 12 to 1 o'clock, about 4.5 miles. Northbound VFR aircraft indicating 4,500 type of knots.
I do have traffic 20 Mike.
Hello to Zulu Mike, good to see you. We're about 12 miles north of the Mission Bay VOR, just about to pull a visual approach into Brown Field.
Number 1310 Alpha, contact SoCal approach 124.35.
2435 for 10 Alpha. I was wrong, we did get another frequency. It's exciting. So exciting. SoCal Bonanza 1310 Alpha, 5000.
Bonanza 1310 Alpha, SoCal approach, Roger, Brown altimeter 2989er.
989er for 10 Alpha.
Bonanza 10 Alpha, multiple targets, VFR. First one is off about 10 or 11 o'clock, 2 miles northbound, 4,400 indicated. Second one would be 12 to 11 o'clock, 4,500 indicated, both unknown.
Both in sight for 10 Alpha. One there,
Roger.
one there.
Number 20 Mike, you're less than 1 mile from the Class Bravo airspace, San Diego Lindbergh. Say intentions.
This guy's gonna bust the San Diego Bravo and the LA Bravo all in one same flight. Watch this guy, make sure he doesn't come make a turn.
And
for
number
us.
Piper 20 Mike, you are in violation of the Bravo airspace. Now, remember to enter the Class Bravo airspace, you have to have a clearance.
I think the problem is that not that he doesn't have clearance, but probably that he doesn't know he's entering Bravo airspace at all. Or possibly what Bravo airspace is. So there's San Diego Lindbergh right there in front of us. Castrator, I'm not sure what that's a picture of, but I agree with the sentiment 100%.
Number 20 Mike, Roger, it's probably a good idea because you just entered the Class Bravo airspace again for the third time.
Yeah, if he manages to fly out to Las Vegas, he could bust the Bravo out there and get the trifecta all in one flight. I think he's going to Montgomery too. Nice. So that's sellouts with the ice burn. Alright, well, just about to fly over the top of Lindbergh here. And we will, about a mile and a half, we'll make the left turn to 120 and be looking for the vectors to Brown Field. Somewhere right around here, there's a little bar, a little Mexican taqueria type place with an open patio. With it's right under the approach path to 27. Keith and I were down in San Diego a couple years ago doing some PilotEdge stuff, and we went and had some margaritas at this place. It was just the coolest thing. All the airliners are just screaming overhead at maybe 200-300 feet above the ground, and we were just sitting and drinking and making bets about what airline would fly over next. It was a good time. Nice. Celitz is watching on his PS4. He can't chat, so he must be chatting on a different device, but says it looks great. That's cool, dude. So got some traffic off the nose here. Keep an eye on that. North Island Naval Air Station is right underneath us there. I believe that's North Island. Make sure that traffic doesn't come over our way. Oh, looks good. Alright, so Brownfield's going to be straight ahead of us here, or we should be pointed almost directly at it. I'm going to dial in the Poggy VOR just in case, or Poggy, I think it's Poggy, on 19.8, just in case we need to have a navigational reference, run into some weather or whatnot. That VOR is just a couple miles from the airport we're going to, so should get a descent here pretty soon, I would expect.
Bonanza 10 Alpha, descend and maintain 3,800. The airport is presently 12 o'clock and 12 miles. Report when you have it in sight.
Is that 2,800 or 3,800 for 10 Alpha?
Bonanza 10 Alpha, descend and maintain 3,800.
3,800. You like how I said I should get a descent and then I got a descent? Pretty good.
Douglas 592 Delta Charlie, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
Alright, let's get that programmed. Gonna pull the power way back so we don't overspeed here. Winton K asks, does PE cover the military bases like Edwards and
592 Delta Charlie, SoCal approach
NZY, North Island? No, we cover them in that there are drone military traffic in and out of them. The dual-use fields, like I think Yuma is one, and I think there's another one that I can't think of right now, are towered, but the rest of the military fields are treated as untowered for pilotage. You're still welcome to fly in and out of them. We just treat them like any other untowered small airport. And you need to be watching out for drones, because there's a bunch of military drones doing all sorts of crazy overhead patterns and crazy stuff like that. Alright, I see a beacon straight ahead. That is almost certainly Brownfield. We'll continue our descent just a little bit more here. Get the airplane ready for landing here. Prop in, get our mixture in. Prop will stay right about 2,600, I think. I'd like to get a better visual on that airport before I declare it in sight, since I want to make sure it's not Imperial Beach.
10 Alpha, again, the airport's 12 o'clock, about 8 miles now.
Yeah, we have the beacon in sight, 10 Alpha.
10 Alpha, thank you. Enter a right downwind, runway 26 right, cleared visual approach.
Okay, cleared visual for 26 right downwind for 10 Alpha. I'll go ahead and get us way lower here. Field elevation is 500 feet. Okay, so we're still plenty high. We're pretty fast right now. I would like to lose some of that speed for sure. I wish I could. I can't really see the airport environment there. Why am I not seeing more of the runways. Oh shit, that would be because that's not where I'm going. Ha! I knew it. There's Brown's over here. I think. What the fuck's going on here? Well, let's call SoCal and ask what's going on here. SoCal 10 Alpha, are you showing Brown at our 1 o'clock now?
River 10 Alpha, 12 to 1 o'clock, about 5 miles.
Okay, thanks. We have a beacon on the ground with no airport. It freaked me out.
That sounds fun. Remember 10 Alpha, contact Brown Tower on 128.25, and good luck.
Okay, 2825, thanks. I don't know what the heck that is on the ground there, but that is not something I'm going to be able to land on. I think this is... yeah, that's Brown there. Alright. Well, that's exciting. Brown Tower, it's Bonanza 1310 Alpha, just a couple miles north, about to enter the right downwind for 26 right.
Bonanza 1310 Alpha, Brown Tower, 26 right, clear to land.
Okay, 26 right, clear to land for 1310 Alpha. What was making me nervous about that is because their Tijuana airport is extremely close to Brown. If you look on the sectional, it's literally like right over the border. And I can see now I have the beacon for Brown, and I have the beacon for Tijuana in sight, so that explains a little bit more of what's going on. But that was...
Long Beach, Mexico to Las Vegas Airport, scenic 1 departure, jagged transition, then westbound. Climb via acidic set, maintain 3000.
I still need to go back and figure out what's going on with my scenery, that I have a random beacon sitting on the ground with like no airport environment whatsoever. Winton Cade says, or the Federales will be waiting. Yeah, I would suspect that a non-trivial number of U.S. pilots accidentally land at Tijuana trying to land at Brown. It seems like a situation that's kind of fraught for that to happen, especially since the two airports have the runway configurations are not that different between the two airports.
Transition, and then outbound.
All
Climb via
wheels down.
Maintain 6000. Expect level 270 final departure. Departure frequency 118.8.
Prop in.
2274. Excel 236
sinking a little more than I would like here. Let's power up. Alright, just past the threshold there. Horse Gunner says, might be the beacon for Sharp Chula Vista Medical Heliport, but the scenery doesn't have the building. Yeah, that's a very good point. That might be exactly what is happening there. It should be a heliport beacon. I think beacons for heliports have a different light signal. I sure couldn't tell you what it is, but one of those listening who actually has a pilot's license might be able to help you with that. Alright, let's start our base turn here. Bring it around for final. Whee! Ugh. My patterns are so sloppy. I've got to get this figured out. I need to just do... instead of doing all this fancy IFR stuff, I just need to fly a bunch of patterns sometime. Put full flaps out. Part of what got me confused, too, is I thought I had more scenery for the Brown Airport, so I was looking for more buildings and stuff, and as you can see, I have no scenery, so you get the X-plane default. I'll have to fix that. I thought it was part of the San Diego package that I had, but I guess not. Alright. Down without any problems there. Ground will be on 24-4. I cruise down this crazy long runway. And take this exit right here. Alright. Hold it. There we go. 24-4, right? Yep, got it. Brown grab Bonanza 1 tree 10 Alpha. Clear at 26 right on Bravo. Like to taxi straight ahead across 8 right into parking.
10 Alpha. Don't switch from tower to ground without a clearance, and you can do it from ground to tower, but you can't do it the other way around. Cross room at 26 left, exit to parking via Bravo Alpha. Good day.
Hey, got it. Thanks. Taxi parking via Bravo Alpha across 26 left 10 Alpha. That's interesting. I've done that switch a number of times from tower to ground. And never had any issue with it. Interesting. Yeah, learned something new. Tuesday Mike says, next time make your downwind wider, it will give you more time. Yeah, that's the problem, is I always fly those downwinds too close in. I really need to get some scenery for this airport. There's supposed to be like dozens of buildings here. Oh well. I'll just go over to the ramp. Parking brake on. Battery off. Mixture to cut off. Alright folks, that's it for me tonight. Thanks for joining along. We did Van Nuys down to Hawthorne, Hawthorne down to Brown Municipal, all slant alpha. Lots of fun. Appreciate everyone hanging out on the chat, and I'll stick around and be on the text chat for a couple more minutes while I'm shutting down if you have any final questions. Not sure when I'm going to be streaming again, maybe tomorrow, decent chance of that, or if not, probably next week, Tuesday, Wednesday sometime. Thanks a lot everyone. Appreciate you stopping by and spending the evening with me.